What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV. In today's video, we're playing the Destiny 2 Open Beta. The Open Beta, as I haven't yet pre-ordered Destiny 2, I'm still on the fence, so I never got a chance to play the exclusive PS4 beta. But the Open Beta, same deal, it's just a little bit shorter. And really, it's okay that I only got to play the Open Beta because there really wasn't a whole ton of content when it came to the beta this year. There was the first main campaign mission where the tower is attacked. There was a strike, which was a fairly decent strike. It wasn't the biggest strike in the whole world. It took about 10 to 15 minutes with a random fire team of 3. And there were 2 different competitive modes. One is the actual competitive mode and one is the quick play open lobby competitive. I haven't touched the serious competitive yet. I'm not sure if there's a different map in there, but the only map I've come across in the quick play competitive is the one that you're seeing in the gameplay today. But I thought I'd give you guys a couple quick first impressions of the beta of Destiny 2, because if you didn't know, I actually had a huge Destiny series on my channel way back at the beginning. When I first was doing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare content, I also had a very big subset of Destiny content, which was actually a fair hit at the time for how small my channel was. And I think that Destiny 2 provides me that chance to get back into the game and start talking about Destiny again with you Destiny fans out there, because I was a really big fan of Destiny at the time, but I slowly got away from it as I was getting into more and more different games. And with Destiny, my biggest problem with the original Destiny was how convoluted the game was, how competitive the game was in nature. If you stepped away from the game for a week, a month, you were gone for good. You would never be able to catch up unless you just spent every waking moment grinding the game. With all of the expansions they added, the DLC, the Season Pass, only covered the first 2 DLC packages. After that, we had the Taken King expansion, which was a full game expansion, a $70 expansion in Canada. After that, there was Destiny Year 3. I believe there were a couple more DLCs after that. I purchased Taken King. I believe that was the last DLC that I got into with the original Destiny. And I just fell behind and I could never get caught up. Everyone was these crazy light levels and super high, great gear. And I'm sitting here like, what's going on here, guys? Like, if you return to Destiny today, you will be completely lost. If you stopped playing Destiny a little while back, it's not like Call of Duty where you can just hop in, pick up a weapon. Sure, there's new DLC weapons and whatever, but you can just pick up a weapon and still compete in that game if you have the skill. In Destiny, you have to have the gear, you have to have the weapons, you have to have the map knowledge, you have to know how to do the raids and the strikes, and there's so much that goes into Destiny that it's like your whole life has to be poured into this game. It's something like Overwatch. From what I've heard, I haven't even touched Overwatch yet. I'm honestly afraid to. But I've heard that Overwatch is one of those games where you have to pour your whole life into it to understand the intricacies of how everything works in the game. This is why a majority of players, myself included, will be very happy to know that Destiny 2 is a soft reboot of the franchise, giving most players a chance to get their hands on the game once again before it gets too difficult to start from scratch. Bungie had planned for a 10-year extended gaming experience with the original Destiny, which would mean a full decade of leveling and progress across multiple DLC expansions with a single character. That was a massive undertaking, and so hardcore Destiny players will be very upset to hear that most of their progress was for nothing, as they'll also be losing all of their items, all of their content, all of their progress with the latest rendition of Destiny. So in the long run, it's more profitable for Activision because they can be bringing in all of those new players, all of those players that lost their touch with Destiny, but the hardcore fans likely won't be very happy, and it doesn't make sense story-wise to give those players back anything through a loyalty program, as in the campaign, the tower's been attacked, we've lost all of our progress, all of our weapons, all of our everything, and so just handing all that stuff back to those players isn't really right. And it's kind of a gray area, really. So hardcore Destiny players will be upset, but we will have a whole new host of things to do in Destiny 2. First and foremost, though, the game is very similar to the original. From a gameplay perspective, we still have these same activities, strikes, raids, campaign missions, Crucible. The campaign has been completely overhauled with a whole bunch of voice actors, a bunch of brand new interactive characters, and this will hopefully make the campaign a little more playable. I've already played through the first campaign opening mission 3 times in this open beta, and I can tell you that every time I've seen and heard something different with each of my playthroughs. So hopefully that can continue throughout the entire campaign, giving us the want to play those campaign missions again. I always dreaded the days in the original Destiny when I opened up my daily quest and it was play this crappy campaign mission over again, and I just wanted to cry myself to sleep because a lot of those campaign missions were dull and lifeless and boring. And so with the new Destiny, hopefully we can revamp that. In terms of other similarities, Destiny 2 will feature the same 3 main characters or classes from the original Destiny: Hunter, Titan, and Warlock. Each of these 3 characters features their original Destiny abilities, so Golden Gun for the Hunter, Titan's Arc Slam, and the Void Walker ability for the Warlock. They also feature an original Destiny 2 ability, something fresh for each of the characters. Now, it still remains to be seen if we'll be able to use those other abilities granted to us throughout the original Destiny, for example, the Hammer of Soul for the Titan. It could be given to us through an expansion, through campaign progress, I'm not sure yet, but I definitely want to see those abilities come back. Just give us a whole host of abilities to pick and choose from, like 4 or 5 or 6 different abilities for each of the characters would be absolutely insane. I was also kind of hoping for a new class or new classes to replace the original classes. I know a lot of players would have freaked out if there wasn't a Hunter or a Titan or a Warlock, but to see new classes would be definitely very interesting as well. Maybe add a couple classes on top of the original 3 to give a little bit more variety to the new game. It's good that we have so many similarities, but I think it might get stale quicker with as many similarities as we've seen so far, like with the weapons. The weapons are very much the same. They've just rearranged how the weapons kind of class into your weapon slots. So your primary weapon can be any of the standard rifles, so an auto rifle, a pulse rifle, or a scout rifle, or an SMG. There are now new SMGs in the game, but all of your primary weapons are reg weapons. They don't have elemental abilities whatsoever. Your second slot is your elemental weapon slot, where you can have all of the same weapons but with elemental abilities. So SMGs, auto rifles, pulse rifles, scout rifles, once again, but these ones will have elemental abilities, so arc damage, void damage, solar damage. And then in your third weapon slot, your heavy weapon slot, I believe it's now called the power weapon slot, you'll find all of the very exotic weapon classes, which is kind of a letdown that we're losing our shotguns, our sniper rifles into this weapon class, but that's what you have to do in Destiny 2. Shotguns, sniper rifles, fusion rifles, classic launchers, and the new grenade launchers are all found in the power weapon slot, meaning you can only use them in a very limited capacity. So once again, with the snipers, shotguns, it's a shame that we won't be able to use them more often. I do believe that the fusion rifles are rightfully placed in the power weapon slot alongside launchers and grenade launchers, but man, don't kill my shotgun vibe. I love my shotguns, and now I have to use an SMG or a handgun or a hand cannon instead. It's just kind of a letdown. I really enjoyed using my shotguns and my sniper rifles as secondary weapons and not very special power weapons. This means in Crucible, you're basically stuck using your reg weapons, rifles, hand cannons, and SMGs, over using any kind of shotgun or sniper rifle until you find heavy ammo, which you would be more set to use on launchers and more powerful weapons like that can one-hit kill enemies rather than shotguns when you do get those heavy ammo crate boxes, but I digress. It's just a very strange choice to be moving the weapons around like that, though I do understand why the change was made. And speaking of changes, or supposed changes, as I'm not exactly sure where the original Destiny got to on this point, but light and power levels in Destiny 2. What you have to understand is I played the original Destiny from day one, where the only level was the classic leveling system. Once you hit level 20, you had maxed out your leveling, and all you could do to improve was collect new gear. After this, they added light levels, and then they revolutionized those light levels and completely changed the leveling system with the Taken King. It was a big, hairy mess. In Destiny 2, it would appear that light levels are no longer a thing. Where gear gave off light in the original Destiny, Gear in Destiny 2 doesn't appear to be giving light, and instead, power level is an average of all the attack and defense values across all of the currently equipped gear. So you equip all of your weapons, all of your best weapons, all of your best gear, and your power level, which is kind of your overall level once you hit level 20, is an average of all of that, improving both your defense and your damage output. It's pretty strange. I've never really understood the light and power level from the original Destiny game, but this seems to be a better system in that before you could have really powerful weapons that only gave a small amount of light, and so in the long run you were actually losing damage on using better weapons than you had currently equipped. It was very confusing, very distracting, and I think this is a much better system, unless it's already been implemented into the original Destiny and I just wasn't aware. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce an addition to classes and subclasses in Destiny 2 over the original Destiny. In the original, 3 abilities were available for each character: a melee ability, grenade ability, and superpower. All 3 of these abilities have survived for Destiny 2, as well as a new base ability in-game known as a class ability. I would refer to it as a tactical. Choosing a hunter as my main character, my tactical ability is a quick dodge in any direction. I simply double tap circle or my crouch button and choose a direction, and I'm pulled out of the game to a third person screen to see my character dash in the selected direction. It's honestly quite terrible. It doesn't really do much for you in Crucible, and in Standard Strike you are going to be shot while doing it. It's more or less just to dodge out of the way of charging enemies. Titan and Warlock abilities are much better than the Hunter abilities. Titan summons a shield wall that teammates can hide behind, and Warlock summons an area of effect where teammates can heal themselves by standing within a circle. The Hunter ability is massively underpowered, and I hope it does get, some kind of buff before the game comes out, and I would also like to see new class abilities as the game progresses. But those are most of my thoughts on the Destiny 2 beta. I like the game so far. I'm still not 100% convinced in running out to pre-order this game right away, as I did only play the open beta. I think the game is going to be good. I think it's a great jumping off point for Bungie and Activision going forward with the series. And I think if you haven't tried Destiny by now, do not go purchase the original Destiny. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're just going to ruin your entire experience at this point. Wait for Destiny 2 to come out this September and try it out for yourselves. You might actually very much enjoy it. You won't get as much story because you won't know what's going on with the tower and why we're being attacked, but you will kind of jump in at a really good, fresh spot in the series. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the Destiny 2 beta in the comment section down below. Will you be picking up Destiny? Are you going to pass on this one? Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Support me on Patreon, follow me on Twitter at BlackTideTV, all those links in the description down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.